Hi, I'm Rick Kaler. Thanks for joining me. Well, if the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, known as the FTC, is successful in getting a new rule enforced, non-compete agreements may soon become illegal in all 50 states. This potentially gives employees reason to celebrate, while employers may feel a little despondent. Not surprisingly, while the change may make sense on the surface, the unintended consequences may not go much deeper. According to a February 7, 2023 report by the Flip site, nearly one-fifth, I was kind of surprised by this, one-fifth of U.S. employees are asked to sign a non-compete. Now, my financial planning firm has required non-competes for 40 years. What is a non-compete agreement? Well, it's a legal contract whereby an employee agrees to not go to work for a competing company when they leave the employer. Most non-competes are limited to competitors within a certain geographical area and for a specific length of time. Now, why would an employer ask for and an employee agree to such a restriction? Well, I think the short answer is because both have something to gain. The employee gains a job, of course, but usually the real incentive to sign a non-compete are specific training and experience that will enhance the employee's skill set and value in the marketplace. Employers are primarily concerned with wanting a return on their what can be often significant investment in training and bringing a new employee up to the standards of that particular position. If an employer invested time and money training an employee to master a job, say like obtain a master's degree or obtain professional certification, they would likely not benefit from their investment if the employee quit the day after they graduated to go to work for a competitor across the street. So when used appropriately, the spirit of a non-compete is inherently a win-win. Now, unfortunately, some employers turn the agreement into a win-lose by making the restrictions so draconian that employees who left the company for any number of reasons could not support themselves financially. Courts have increasingly refused to uphold non-compete agreements that are unreasonable. Let me give you an example. Almost no court would enforce barring a McDonald's employee from working in any fast food restaurant within 250 miles for 10 years. That's absurd. However, a non-compete that limits a highly skilled employee that's been trained by the company from working for a competitor within 10 miles for 2 years may be considered reasonable and enforceable. The reasonability depends largely on a number of variables. Currently, states control what is reasonable, the definition of what is reasonable and unreasonable with the non-compete agreements. For example, California just bans them, while South Dakota allows them if they're reasonable. And reasonability is typically decided by the courts. So what's the downside to a nationwide ban? Certainly employees will benefit from the increased freedom to quit and immediately take any job that they'd like. However, employers may become more reluctant to pay for employee training or education. Many companies give annual allowances for continuing education to help employees keep certifications and licenses and also keep their skills up to date and even add new skills. So these allowances, which often run into the thousands of dollars a year, could become the responsibility of the employee if they can go to work for a competitor immediately. In addition to non-compete agreements, some employers require employees to sign non-solicitation agreements or non-disclosure agreements. These prohibit former employees for a certain amount of time after leaving a company from soliciting the company's clients or current employees, or from sharing proprietary secrets of the company. So the spirit and intention of these agreements is much the same as the non-compete, and I don't think the legislation is going to affect these. I do suspect the FTC will be successful in banning non-compete agreements based on the abuses of a few bad players. It's the same old story. The results will be a win for the lower wage earners, whose employers have no business holding them to a non-compete agreement. But the losers are likely to be budding professionals who are likely to lose support from their employers for investing in their education. The resulting costs will hinder both individuals' career growth and the development of their professions. Thanks for listening.